Once upon a time, in a quiet little town, there was a cozy cottage owned by an imaginative boy named Max. This cottage had a stunning view of the mountains and a beautiful river flowing nearby. But Max was not happy with his home garden, which looked dull and lifeless. Weeds overran the flower beds, and the grass had grown tall and wild. The garden was an unsightly mess, and Max dreamed of transforming it into a vibrant, magical space. One day, Max discovered an old, dusty book in his grandmother's attic titled The Enchanted Garden. Curiosity piqued. He opened the book and found detailed instructions on how to create a magical garden filled with lively flowers, singing birds, and fluttering butterflies. Excited, Max decided to follow every step carefully. He borrowed a shovel, rake, and watering can from his neighbor, Mr. Green, and started the arduous task of clearing out the weeds and trimming the overgrown grass. As he dug deeper into the earth, Max unearthed ancient, colorful stones that glimmered in the sunlight. These stones seemed to hum with energy. He arranged them in a circular pattern as directed in the book, creating a magical stone circle. Next, Max planted seeds of every kind imaginable: roses, sunflowers, tulips, daisies, and some exotic plants that he couldn't even name. Days turned into weeks as Max nurtured the seedlings. One evening, after a particularly tiring day of gardening, Max was startled by a gentle, melodic humming that filled the air. He looked around and saw that the stones were glowing softly, and the once lifeless garden started to transform before his very eyes. Flowers began to bloom in vibrant colors, their petals opening up like welcoming arms. Birds of every shade swooped down, singing merrily as they perched on the new garden fence Max had installed. Butterflies in hues of blue, yellow, and red fluttered around, adding a magical touch to the scene. Max could hardly believe his eyes. His dull and lifeless garden had turned into a paradise. It wasn't long before the neighbors took notice. People from all over the town came to see Max's enchanted garden. They brought their own plants and flowers, hoping to add a bit of magic to their own gardens. Before long, the entire town was transformed into a collection of beautiful, colorful gardens. However, one rainy day, an ominous cloud appeared in the sky. The wind howled, and the once peaceful garden seemed to grow dark and cold. Max felt an unsettling chill run down his spine. Rushing out to his garden, he noticed the glowing stones flickering as if struggling to maintain their magic. The plants began to wither, and the birds flew away in fear. It was then Max remembered the final page of the Enchanted Garden book. It warned of a dark storm that threatened to undo all the garden's enchantment. Max sprinted back inside, grabbed the book, and read the only solution. He needed to find the heart of the garden, a special flower that could withstand the dark storm and nurture it with everything he had. Racing against time, Max braved the fierce wind and pouring rain. Through the almost impenetrable darkness, he reached the center of his garden and found the heart flower, its petals closed tightly. Holding it gently, he whispered words of encouragement and hope. Slowly, the flower began to open, glowing brighter and brighter until the storm started to fade. The darkness lifted, the birds returned, and the flowers once again stood tall and vibrant. From that day on, Max's garden not only remained a magical paradise, but also became a symbol of hope and perseverance. People came from distant lands to witness the wondrous transformation and left inspired.